Okay, so now what we need to do is put some hand railing in, and to do that we need to isolate the driving sketch completely. Alright, go to TSD members, select handrail, select top mounted handrail, scroll down and select sketch, and select the top sketch around the top edge and hit your tick. Now what this will do is it'll place handrail around each line segment in your driving sketch, one by one, saving you time. We will have to go into the drawings and update the drawings and make sure that they're right before we do ourselves a lockdown on the hand railing as well. Now the hand railing is going past the stairs is going to be pulled back, but to do that we need to put hand railing on the stairs so we can set up our clearances. So now if we hit X and exit out of the handrail, hit exit isolate, we now can put handrail on the stairs. To do that, TSD members, handrail, and if we scroll down you can see that there's a left top mounted, and it's telling us that we need to select the horizontal line and then the diagonal line. So if we select the horizontal line, and there's a diagonal line running along the heel of that PFC stringer, and hit your tick, and that will place handrail onto the stairs. Okay, and we're going to do the other side. You select the third model, it says stair right top mounted. Same process, select the horizontal and then the diagonal. So there's the horizontal in underneath and the diagonal is on that stringer. Hit your tick, that'll put hand railing in for you. Okay, now I'm just going to check the handrail on these two that we've just placed in the drawings and make sure that they are okay and we don't need to do any updating. So if we open the drawing, everything looks fine, so we'll leave that as it is, and we'll do the same thing for the handrail on this side. So all we're doing is just checking the templates to make sure that there's not too much of an adjustment required, and so far so good. Oh, that one had a bit of a glitch. If I open the drawing up, see that dimension has lost its center line, so if we go in and update the center mark by selecting the center of the tube on the stanchion, and now we can grab that dimension and place it onto that sketch line, which now gives us the center of the stanchion. Okay, now we save it, close it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull back this handrail. But we're going to make the handrail to the driving sketch of the part, and that way that this handrail will always update if we move the handrail back this way. We also need to do the same on the return handrail on the stair handrail. So first of all I'm just going to use that stair handrail. So if I click on the top member, it exposes the assembly, and in there is a set out sketch. If I edit that sketch, right, it will give me some dimensions. What I'm going to do is just make that one now driven. So if I go to other and make it driven, I can now grab the handrail and pull it back to here. Right, I need to rotate around just to ensure that I'm actually on the left hand side, and I am. Now I know that the tube is roughly 50mm in diameter, and we have a law, or not a law, a clearance based on Australian standards that says that we need 80 in between. So if we go 80 plus 50 between the two, that will lock that in. Also too, you can't really see it very clearly here, there is a sketch that drives the kick plate that's in there. I'm also going to make that driven, and I'm going to make that so that that driving sketch is going to be linked to the plate to which it is attached to. I'm going to at this end. So I'm just going to make those two so that they are horizontal, vertical, in the same location. Now that attaches the stair handrail to the platform handrail. So if we were to move or even widen the stair, that handrail would automatically update along this edge here on that member. Also too, on this side, we can do the same thing with this driving sketch. Okay, so if we click that member there, there's a driving sketch part. We'll expand that out, and in the driving sketch part we also have a sketch that's related to this whole thing. So there's a return sketch to which this is attached to. If we hit the tick, edit the sketch, there is a driving sketch dimension of 300 there, which we can make driven. And essentially what happens is the stanchion moves with that. Actually, I think that's the wrong sketch. Just so that you know, you've got to select the right sketch, and it will be the handrail driving sketch. No, that is the right sketch. No, it's not. So we'll just put that back to where it was. There is a driving sketch in there to which we can edit. If we select the edge of that sketch there and edit that sketch, no, that's not the right sketch either. If we select the kick plate on this member, that's handrail number 6, and if we select the kick plate and unselect the kick plate, that's handrail 3, and if we isolate them, we can essentially make the two together. And if we edit that sketch there, that gives us our offset of 140. If we grab that dimension and remove it and select that point and that sketch, we now can fix that so that that will remain in the same place, and it will grow based on that sketch. If we select the kick plate line, which is this one here, we can remove the 600 and lock it so that it will remain linked to this edge, and that's where the existing kick plate on the other member is. So now we've mated that to that. So it means if we were to move the stairs, we now have in context relationships that will allow that handrail to stretch. Okay, so that pretty much concludes putting handrailing in, but the next step for us to do is to punch all the holes in all the members and dimension the members. Okay, so through this process, holes need to go in. If we go into the TSD utilities and go punch holes, select the top of the handrail plate, rotate around, select the flange, that'll punch holes. Same with obviously zoom previous. If you've got that set up, I'd use it. Punch holes, flange. Be careful not to touch the dummy members, because you don't want to punch holes through those. You want to punch holes through the member to which you're actually attaching the handrail to. Okay. Same with that one. Reverse. Obviously this one, punch holes into that one, and it's just a continual process of just doing one after the other. Okay, and this one as well. Whoops, out of view. This one as well. Not only do we need to do this to the beams, we also needed to do it to the stairs as well. If the beam is the same beam at the other end, you more than likely won't have to punch holes twice through it. What I just did then is not required. Okay, and another set there. Whoops. Another set there. Another set there. now we need to do the stairs. Pick that face, that edge. That face, that edge. That face, that edge. That face, that edge. That face, whoops, and that face, and the last one. Okay, so now we've punched all of our holes. We need to go around now and put some dimensions on all of our newly punched items, which means that the stringers on the stairs, these guys, we need to open up the drawings that are associated to them, and now we need to put in some dimensions. We go ordinate. Ordinate's nice and quick, so just like that. Offset dimension and a hole call out, hole typical, and if you want, it's not recommended, but you can do it if you like. I do it just to make it neater and show that there are actually holes. I'll put center marks in. You can also go down and go as crazy as putting in your center lines for your hole punchings. Just remember to take out the radiuses. That finishes that drawing, so I'm going to do the same thing on this side, open the drawing on that side, and now that they're on the bottom face you might want to switch sides and not show that face. So that means that you go up into your view layout, click a projected view, click that side, and then you get the bottom face, which means now you dimension that side instead. So you can go over to annotation, coordinate view, and do the same thing again. And you'll notice the holes have already got center marks in those. It makes it a little easier for everyone. That's just a standard SolidWorks setting. And now I'm just adding in the extra dimension for the offset, and now the hole call out. Hole typical. Alright, and because I had that view, I'm just going to put in a center line so that they come through for the holes. You can see that in there. So that's that. That's the two stringers done. Let's open up the beams and do the beams now. Now this beam's the same as that beam, so we only need to do that once. Okay, so let's open the drawing up on that one. And you'll notice the holes have come through. Interesting. Let's have a look and see where these holes are. It's punched right through the beam. How is that possible? Because I did a duplicate of the holes, it's punched right through. So under that beam, when I select that beam, we're going to remove those extra holes that we put in, and those holes as well. And we should have 3 sets of holes now. No, that one's rid of as well. Now we should have 3 sets of holes. So we've got the cut extrude 5, 6 and 7. Now we're going to edit this beam's drawing and make sure that those holes are right. So when we open it up, they're in the top view only. So I'm just going to put a dimension from this end to the centre of the beam. And I'm now going to make it so that the ordinate dimensions are in place as well. And it looks like there's a bit of a centerline issue with that beam, so we're just going to fix that up, and that might mean that that needs to be driven. That fixes that problem. Call the holes. lines in. Save that drawing. And do the same thing with this drawing, with this part. Open that drawing up, and it looks like we need to update it because the length has changed. And just tidy up the template. Add in some extra dimensions. So from the center out to the middle of the beam, it's automatically driven. Let's put in some ordinate dimensions. There to there to there. Hole call out. Center marks, and you can, in this instance, also select the view and bring in the center lines for the holes as well into the top. And we need to do the same thing with the beam over the back. Open that drawing up. So it's got to go through some small changes as well. Tidy it up. Center mark and ordered dimensions, very similar to the other beam as well. The only difference is this beam's center marks for the stanchions different because the other one was pulled back for the stairs. So do the hole call out. Center marks as well. All the holes are configured, and you can also put in your center lines for the holes in this member. Okay, so that tidies that beam up. Alright, so now we've got ourselves all of our beams and our drawings ready to go to be uploaded into the, to be locked down